In a shockingly vicious and unrestrained comedy bit that left celebrities aghast, Tiffany Hadish unleashed an absolutely brutalizing roast eviscerating Meghan Markle as a fame-hungry charlatan during Sunday night's BET Awards, drawing audible gasps as the entire set devolved into chaos, with Meghan rushing off stage in tears and husband Prince Harry squaring off with security in defense of his wife's honor. What was supposed to be a relatively light-hearted comedic set piece poking fun at some of pop culture's biggest names and stories rapidly derailed into one of the nastiest celebrity takedowns in recent memory. As cameras rolled capturing her 10-minute diatribe for broadcast to millions worldwide, Hadish seemed to snap early into some kind of manic rage as she viciously tore into Markle with profanity and surreal insults that swiftly inched from questionable taste into outright cruelty. Now we gonna get into this delusional by ****H of the year for her lies, grifting and all-around conning of folks akin to a third-rate Jussie Smollett routine if he co-starred in an off-way off-Broadway production touring West Palestine in Hell. The comedian opened to the packed crowd at the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles. While the set initially received some laughter as Hadish cracked jokes alluding to the Duchess' recent branding stumbles over new business ventures like Archie Productions and repeated exaggerated claims about the British royal family, tensions instantly flared when the bit took an unexpectedly ruthless turn. I'm talking about the self-appointed Calliston of all controversy herself, MUU grifter from Monteshitshow County, Meghan, the mud shark merchant. At that point groans and murmurs began circulating the starry BET audience as Hadish popped off the stage to begin roaming the terraces, firing off a barrage of uncensored insults like fame-addicted swamp floozy profiteer, welfare at a queen wig fall flop troll, and third world voodoo trust fund grifter but uglier than ScarJo in an old blackface drag montage. Cameras even caught the visibly stunned reaction of Markle herself sitting in stunned silence among the front row while Hadish continued mocking her as lazy colonial footstep Jezebel slithering up on Oprah's golden haunches like a carpetbagging rapper baby. But just when it seemed the scorched earth rant finally crossed an indecent line and might wrap up, Hadish charged through the torn fabrics of civility and credibility left, literally hopping onto Markle's lap, aggressively gesticulating and inching to within inches of her aghast face. Oh, why the Sasquatch sourpuss, mulatto fair real? What, you think I forgot about them crocodiles of Caucasian clownery you force-dripped down oppressed islets everywhere, disrespecting souls far more and savage than your Dr. Shillelagh certified selfish remarkability diggity gonna turn this full shanty town upside down until every moffer saw through all your kabuki truth character. At that, a horrified Meghan fled her seat in tears, pursued by Prince Harry charging the comedian as a frenzy of red-faced staffers and security rushed to restore order. Wild footage showed the British Duke screaming at bemused Hadish while attempting to shove and accost even as officials pinned his arms back as Meghan ran from the auditorium sobbing. Ultimately, the melee forced BET producers to abruptly cut the broadcast to unplanned commercial break, sending the hostless ceremony into hapless disarray. Cast, crew, and executives were left utterly confused as to what in the world even provoked Hadish's sudden meltdown, as she had previously rehearsed relatively tame comedic bits and displayed no signs of unnecessarily singling out Meghan for such wanton and personal cruelties. We still have zero real clarity what set Tiff off like that. It was so wildly uncharacteristic and vitriolic without any obvious instigation, remarked one BET production source present backstage for the debacle. She seemed totally fine during dress rehearsals that afternoon, calm and hitting her marks for other playful roasts about unionized Oompa Loompa and Cloverfield monster prince babies. So for her suddenly launch into these violently personal attacks without provocation really is a mystery. Speculation naturally swirled about deeply personal real-life feuds driving Hadish to detonate, perhaps simmering animosities over allegedly blocking her involvement in Harry and Meghan's Archie productions, jealousy regarding Markle's Duchess clout, or even old industry grudges against the actress' past treatment of fellow entertainers. However, anonymous former Will and Grace writer-producers quickly surfaced salacious allegations claiming Hadish's meltdown activation may have actually been sparked by arcane deep-state mind control programming, as reprisal for her straying from some scripting dissension among the talented. As the bizarre conspiracy theory threads intensified throughout BET broadcast airwaves, still scrambling to fill airtime sans any functioning awards show, Hadish herself popped back up solo on stage, appearing utterly disheveled and dazed, rambling nonsensically for nearly 5 minutes accusing lunar cradle bloodline demons, of forcing her to mimic this mud pile apparata, conjuring mimetic spirit influences. While network security tried tackling the comedian off-camera, she kept stammering utterances like anti-terrestrial sparks beaming brain chromes, countercast this non-woman trait, before being overpowered and dragged off stage. While Hadish spent the rest of the evening detained backstage on 5150 psychiatric hold, still incoherently mumbling through her disturbed trances, the ceremony eventually lurched back to life 4 hours after its original primetime broadcast was abandoned. Upon recovering from the most shocking incident in awards show history, executive producers opted to present remaining awards without entertainment or comedy segments while mixing in pre-taped acceptance speeches. As for the Prince Harry and Markle herself, they swiftly evacuated the charged event following her tearful meltdown and Hadish's initial apprehension. The couple wasted little time issuing a public statement condemning the violent and abusive verbal assaults while demanding formal accountability from the comedian and network outlets who apparently permitted a dangerously unhinged Hadish to take performative free range against the couple. What should have been an uplifting celebration of black artistry and excellence was completely derailed and marred by this wanton display of unfiltered hatred and psychopathic punishing unleashed against my wife out of apparent deep mental psychosis, Harry wrote. We are exploring every legal and industry action possible since we no longer feel safe in Meghan returning any public sphere tolerating such inexplicable, irredeemably hurtful attacks. While the extent of any pending litigation remains unreported as of this writing, multiple credible Hollywood sources confirm Hadish was promptly fired by Disney from the Haunted Mansion reboot over the disturbing incident alongside contractual separations from all current and future BET programming. The Girls Trip star also faces permanent blackballing across other major studios and networks unwilling to endure similar erratic on-stage meltdowns, which unanimously branded her in an unstable and uninsurable light after so graphically shredding decorum and veering into the darkest outskirts of comedic decency. Ultimately, BET's flagship 2024 awards ceremony seems certain to be most remembered throughout entertainment history as Tiffany Hadish's explosive undoing after wasting little time introducing the entire world to just how venomously cruel and unhinged her repertoire sank when roasting Meghan Markle as some perceived delusional charlatan. Instead of a night celebrating black excellence, audiences worldwide were subjected to a disturbing display of unrestrained malice and vitriol laced in what many are classifying unprompted hate speech, terminating an otherwise promising career opposing all the high arts of comedy and free expression. In many troubling ways, this just feels like rock bottom for audience participation. Performance shows greenlighting whoever or whatever still breaths without properly managing devastating worst.